Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Time on Feet podcast. I'm Alyssa.
I'm George.
And here today, we are going to talk about fueling and are most runners underfueled? Topic that's super top of mind for us right now. And, begs the question, we train like athletes, but do we eat like it? So, something to talk about. We drink coffee like it.
Coffee
That's
like
for sure.
addicts.
But first of all, let's do a little check in and see how we're doing today. Drinking coffee.
Fully caffeinated.
Now, what number of coffee is that for you?
Trois. Un, deux, trois.
Yeah, same.
Three is kind of too much for me.
Okay.
Yeah, we're mid-afternoon right now, getting close to dinner time, and we're talking fuel and food. So for me, when I have coffee after noon, it's usually not good for me because I don't know that it affects my sleep because I sleep like shit all the time. So I could probably drink coffee right up until bedtime.
Yeah.
It wouldn't impact
It'd be
me, but
fine.
I get a little jittery.
Okay.
And I'm not there yet, but
Sweet.
I'm on the precipice of
Yeah.
the jitters. So, I'm good today.
Perfect. So we did a long run yesterday. One of the longer ones that you've done lately. And how do you
75 kilometers. I feel really good after 75 kilometers that I did yesterday.
Yeah. Casual.
Not a mile more, not a
75.
mile less.
No, we did 18 and a half.
After my 75 kilometers, I feel very good today. I had a massage today.
Yeah.
And I got to sleep until like 7:30.
Was it even that late? I think it was closer to 7, but yeah, either way.
Amazing. So I feel good. Had a solid 4 to 5 hours of sleep.
Which is
rock solid. Feeling good. Haven't eaten much today. We haven't had lunch. So we're gonna talk.
Actually, yeah.
We're gonna talk about underfueling.
That wasn't intentional.
It was not intentional.
Actually.
But we're gonna have a big supper.
Yes.
Right. So
we're saving ourselves. Yeah.
And I'm feeling great.
Good.
How are you?
Same thing. Feeling really, really good. You went for your massage and I had a solo sauna session today. That felt really good and drank a ton of water. Also had a ton of coffee.
Mhm.
So I probably am at like net zero for hydration. Really depleted myself and drank some, but and feeling really good. Legs feel amazing, feel really strong. And that 18.5K we did yesterday was lots of tempo work. It was headwind the whole time, but honestly, we had so much fun with it. And you know what? One thing that I wanted to mention is that I've been doing so many solo runs throughout the season and in training. And lately running with you has been, honestly, it's made the runs go by so quick. It's been amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. Like it's almost brought the joy back to running for me a little bit. So
you like to look at me suffering and crying as I limp.
I like to kind of glance behind me and be like
a wounded animal. You find joy in my discomfort.
Yeah, exactly. It's
like, at least I'm not that guy.
It's entertaining. Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when people walk by and they see you back there, I'm like, help,
Somebody help him.
Yeah, he's chasing me. And also he looks hurt.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I feel good.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not everybody feels great after 75K.
Well, I know. We are
long run.
Athletes.
That was a deload week for me too. So I did pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay. So are most runners underfueled? That is a very interesting question that we talk about really all the time, just as far as fueling, gels, intake, all those sorts of things and topics. We train like athletes, but really do we eat like it? I think we're talking about it because we're interested in fueling. We're interested in what helps us. We're interested in what works and what doesn't. We've dealt with underfueling. We've dealt with a little bit of overfueling, I think, in one race particular that I can think of for you. And also like the fueling debate is super popular right now in run culture, that kind of hard carb lifestyle, that kind of thing. So we're talking about it because it's a buzz topic right now, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think for myself, I'm going to dub it ignorance fueling.
Yeah.
And when I started running, distance is greater than like 5K, 10K.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought me into the trail world. I remember doing a backyard ultra in Lacombe.
Yeah.
And that was my first time really being in that group of people. And I think that was the first time I had ran a full marathon distance ever. And I got there and to the 10, there was just full of like candy and Coke. And I was like, hallelujah, I found my place in the world. These people are snacking
Yeah.
hard. There was beer. I'm like, oh, this is
They're
awesome.
fit, but like they're
Fit.
also, yeah.
And then, as we got moving
Yeah.
through, I would come back and like drink a liter of cola
Yeah.
and eat
Yeah.
penny candies, a liter of cola. That's a Super Troopers throwback. And then that's peak millennial reference
Yeah.
in Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
movie. Watch it.
A recommendation.
Highly recommend. And anyway, I was like, oh my goodness, like, oh, I can just feel on this, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, we got, I think, onto the fourth lap, and I was like, oh my God, I don't feel very good.
Yeah.
My legs are cramping. And then we did the fifth one, and
Yeah.
I was waddling. I was just like, this, like a wet cat.
Yeah.
I could barely carry my feet to the finish line of that lap. Went out
Yeah.
for another, finished it, but I was destroyed. I was cramping. That was, to this day, the worst I've ever cramped.
Oh, really?
Was Doug's backyard.
Yeah. Which is your first
But I was fueling
foray.
on complete crap.
Yeah.
And pure sugar. And I had no rhyme or reason to it. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, I'm thirsty. Let's drink some Coke.
Yeah.
And, it dawned on me after that. I was like, okay, like that, I just started getting more into races and such, and seeing that like people were really into high carbohydrate.
Yeah.
And I think back to that because it was pure shit carbs. It wasn't like gels. It wasn't, anything fancier or,
Yeah.
trail
It was
mixes.
junk
It
food.
was junk food.
Yeah.
And it's still common. Like you see that all the time. And
Yeah.
a lot of people can readily ingest that and feel pretty good. But it got me thinking, like, that's not optimal.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that race again this summer. And I'm sure as shit not going to eat penny candy and Coke
Yeah.
the whole time. That's not going to do me any good. So that got me thinking on that too. Like, how do you optimize for this?
Yeah.
And then we see, yeah, you mentioned it. Hot topic.
Yeah.
High carb, high carb, high carb. You hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
David Roche put out an interesting video on YouTube this week, all about high carb and how that is, I know that's kind of his thing. So,
Yeah.
With all due respect to him, I don't know enough on the science side of it, but that got us thinking again, like he's really pushing for kind of a staged, I want to do him justice in this. It's not like he's saying high carb all the time for everyone.
Yeah.
He certainly breaks it down into the segments. You should go watch the
It
YouTube
was
video.
good.
It's quite
Yeah.
good.
It was.
And I agree with him.
Yeah.
In the high carb intake with maximum output or high level output over certain durations, I think you absolutely need to restore your glycogen levels, and you need to give the muscles what they need.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of wanted to talk about this, because you hear high carb a lot, but then you also hear people saying, no, you should go low carb, carb, no carb.
Yeah.
Put your body through the paces while you're training, so that when it comes to races, you're feeling, you've gone through that before, where your body is starved with glycogen and it knows how to respond in that state. So that's why I wanted to take a bit of a deep dive into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, something that is definitely top of mind for us. And I think going into race season for a lot of runners right now too, right? So, one of the things that I wanted to touch on, and I'm not sure if you've experienced this, but from the female perspective, of course, there is that fear during races and during runs and even race season of eating more. And I mean, like you had mentioned when we were talking about this earlier, in what world do you tell a woman, you need to eat more carbs, you need to eat 100 grams of carbs an hour? Like that would send any person screaming in the other direction, right? Like a woman who's trying to, who's just trying to maintain their fitness and that kind of thing. So I think there is that fear, at least for me, there's definitely that fear of eating more, of going high carb, because and you kind of want to be a little bit lighter. When you're road running, especially, you inevitably go a little bit faster when you are lighter. At least I found in my experience, when I'm in a specific weight range, it feels really good. Like my body feels good, my muscles feel good, and I feel like I can go just kind of that much faster. So why would I want to test that theory, right? And start eating a bunch of carbs, potentially gain a little weight, feel more sluggish. Like this is kind of what goes through my mind. So there is that fear. There's the fear of eating more. There's the fear of gaining a little bit of weight or losing a little bit of fitness because you're intaking on carbs and sugar and these sorts of things. So I think that's prevented me from fueling properly in the past. I'm trying to right that wrong now, but it's been a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I think, well, because a lot of people just, when they're running, it's exercise.
Yeah.
They're going to run to lose weight. That's
Yeah.
what their intent is. And I think this is, in a sense, broadly applicable.
Yeah.
Applicable?
Yeah.
Applicable.
Yeah.
It's a fun word.
Yeah.
And I think people tend to think that, yeah, if they take carbs in, well, it's counterintuitive. Then
Yeah.
they're not going to lose weight. They need to like run a calorie deficit, starve themselves, and run to to burn fat. Not the case. We know that you're going to go and oxidize fat if you do any form of long distance endurance training, whether your purpose be for conditioning for a race or if you are setting out to lose weight. Rest assured, you will if you
Yeah.
do this, but you still need to take in usable fuel, right? Fill your tank with calories that you're going to burn and utilize during that modality, not things that are going to sit poorly with you, that are going to deter from the activity itself. And I think we've experienced this during not really training.
Mm.
Well, yes, training in the sense of underfueling, but not ingesting crap carbs. And definitely in races and recreational pursuits where we ingest too much of the wrong stuff. And we know how that can be kind of deleterious to your outcome. It can affect you in a bad way. But yeah, 100%. I mean, for myself, I'm not super worried about taking in too much and it altering my weight or my aesthetic, but I get it. I mean, yeah, if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, just eat carbs, 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 sugar," things that you can readily consume and turn into ATP, and you're like, "Well, no, I'm not gonna." Nobody else is
Yeah.
telling me to do that.
Yeah.
Don't eat candy bars or sugar gels and things like that. It wouldn't logically click for a lot of people that that's kind of a mechanism that one should pursue when they're
Hmm.
doing this. So, yeah, it's not a thing that has afflicted me or that I've really given too much thought to. But again, my experience with athletics and knowing my body and knowing that fuel is vital it's just a no brainer for me that I need that. But for a lot of people, yeah, it might be kind of a weird train of thought. And again, if you're in it purely from a weight loss perspective, you're new to running, you're out there, you're plucking away low mileage situations. Not saying you need a high amount of carbohydrate, but you certainly need to fuel your body.
You need to
before you
fuel
run.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to do more harm if you're under fueling or just as much harm if you're
Yeah.
under fueling. I don't think, I mean, there's not a ton of people that overfuel. I think what we end up doing is not fueling during runs and then like carb loading after runs or carb loading before, which can
Sure.
be kind of depends on what you're eating and when. But I think during runs, that's a huge fear of mine, I would say. And I think that a big thing of it too, and kind of part and parcel with the fear piece is that I have like a very kind of sensitive stomach. And so even like the whiff of like a fake strawberry or fake fruit or any sort of gel or any sort of like those little gummies
Yeah.
could make my stomach turn. Like, I mean, even now sitting here and not running, right? Like for some reason, it's that fake kind of processed stuff that really bothers me. So then add in running, and that's a recipe for a quick run to the porta potty. And so there's that fear for me too. And I've had this fear for a long time. And I've tried, I've tried different gels. I kind of found one that worked for me, but still kind of made me a little bit nauseous. So that's a huge thing for me too, is I almost don't want to try them because the last thing I want to do is be nauseous on a run or feel like I have to run to the bathroom. So I think that can really impede my
For sure.
fueling and my intake, right? So recently I tried a gel that I was just thrilled about. I mean, this was just yesterday, but so far I've tried two of them and I've had no stomach effects, right? So which is the first time ever. I've had something with every gel I've ever taken. So it's, yeah, not only the aesthetic fear and the physical fear of maybe not being lean, but also that fear of feeling sick.
Yeah, I think lived experience,
Yeah.
if we move kind of firmly into the competitive running field, I think a lot more common with people that are
Yeah.
racing or run racing, they likely have had issues with nausea. They've had issues with their stomach turning mid-race.
Yeah, it's pretty typical.
It's pretty typical. And perhaps that does lead them to the point where they're like, I'd rather underfuel than put something in my gut and have my guts turn on.
That's has been my mindset for years, right?
Yeah.
And it's not been good. And so I think that kind of leads us to the next topic as far as like underfueling signs. Have you had signs of underfueling? I think you're honing in on your fueling right now. Like you're doing really good with that. But have you gotten to a point yourself where you've underfueled and noticed
for sure. No, I have. And it's not common. I typically am pretty good about that, especially if we know we have a race. I'll kind of carb load in, how I carb load.
Yeah.
And eat quite a bit prior to the event. But during the race, it can be hard because I don't have a watch. I'm one of those unicorns. I'm really special. And I don't have a Garmin or whatever beeping at me every 15 minutes to tell me to take. I just kind of go by feel.
Yeah.
Not advisable if you want to win races, but if you just want to go have fun and you want to carry less, then go by feel. And I'll often just go like, oh, it's been an hour and a half, and I've sipped on some water, and but I've put nothing in my stomach. And last year we had at the end of our race season, we had an event, and I bonked. We've talked about bonking, but when I get into that point where you feel completely just emptied of energy, and I hadn't eaten really anything. I think I had a Larabar that morning before the race. That was it.
I think we grabbed a couple
maybe a
kind of trash carbs from Starbucks or something, but it wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough, not even close to enough. So I came in super depleted, which kind of ties in. Like it's not just while you're running.
Yeah.
It's moving into the event. It's like if you're at home, eat before you go.
Yeah.
Don't, intermittent fast, go for a intense run, not eat anything. You're going to feel terrible.
Run fast.
So I've had that where I've underfueled. And then I think moving into that race, and if you're a competitive runner, you're gonna have a fueling plan.
Yeah.
You're totally gonna need to. If you don't, I've only been doing this not even a year, and I'm gonna have a fueling plan. So if you've been doing it longer than a year and you don't,
shame, double shame. But also shame because that's me.
Yeah.
So actually no shame. But it's definitely, I'm coming from the perspective of it's almost a joke within our running friends that like, oh, Alyssa's drinking no water and eating no food, and she's going to go run a marathon kind of thing. Because realistically, that's how it's been, right? Because of a number of factors like we talked about, that fear, and really just that fear of getting sick. And especially when you're doing a road run, it's a little different than a trail run, whereas you're just going so fast and you're significantly just so focused on what you're doing that it's the last thing you want to do is take an extra couple minutes to go to the bathroom.
Well, different demands,
right? On the body.
Different time domain.
Yeah.
I think in the trail, and I don't mean to cut you off, but in the trail domain, if you're doing a longer run and you're running for 12 or 24 hours or 5 days, like some of these people in some of these races, you need to fuel for the latter stages, not the start. The fueling plan needs to be what's going to carry me through to hour 18.
But not even that. It does that 5-minute bathroom break is not going to do anything to your time.
Exactly.
Right? It doesn't matter. Whereas if you're trying to get, a 3-hour marathon in, I mean, that 5 minutes could be everything, right?
Do elaborate and tell us more about why you do underfuel, because you're cognizant of it. You're aware of it. You did mention that, some food sits really poorly.
Yeah.
Probably most.
Yeah.
And obviously you've tried the new gels, you're liking those. But how do you feel when you're doing a 7-hour race when you've taken in not much?
Yeah, I try and eat before, in the past, it's been I think last year, during one of our 64K races in the fall, I was so proud of myself because I think I had 2 gels the entire time. And I mean, and this was 7 hours? Yeah, 7.5 hours or something.
Yeah.
This race was. And, I tried to eat, 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in preparation for the race. And I think that the overarching theme for me is I can start strong and mentally I can go until you hit that last almost 10, 15K. And then all of a sudden, I definitely can feel almost the bonking coming, but that fatigue. Like my muscles have nothing left. My mind is good.
Yeah.
But I'm starving
a dry sponge.
Yeah, I think my muscles are really starving.
Mhm.
And I think I really feel it because I know the fitness is there. My lungs are fine. But I get to a point the past, or the last, sorry, 10 to 15 kilometers where I'm like, I couldn't take another step.
Totally.
Um, and even on races that are relatively flat, right? And I think it's all stemming back, of course, to that underfueling piece
Right.
and just not having enough. So I've really noticed it lately. I'm like, that my fitness is there. I've been working on it for years.
Mhm.
Why can't I finish this last little bit, right? Strong.
Yep.
And so I think that that's been a huge thing for me, and definitely a huge sign of fatigue
You're the
and
living
depletion.
embodiment of underfueling.
Yeah, totally. And it's not like I joke about it and that sort of thing, but it's not good. Like I wouldn't
No,
suggest it at all. And mentally, I feel it. It does affect your moods. It affects your energy, of course, but it also affects you mentally, right? You're not sharp, and you're
totally.
depleting your body. You're depleting your brain, and so I think that that's a super important thing to recognize as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been pushing you to practice
Yeah,
when you're out running
yeah,
in your training block to fuel.
yeah,
And that's so easy, I think, for people to neglect because they get up, they're like, I have 10 or
yeah,
12. They just walk out the door,
yeah.
the treadmill. They
Exactly.
haven't brought a water bottle. They
Yeah,
haven't really, and they're just going. But you need to train your gut.
yeah,
You need to train the patterns
yeah,
of ingesting carb, protein, whatever source it is. And I would also say high carb is great and I think required
yeah,
for high end output. I think you can also fuel with some other sources too, of maybe not as readily available sugars, but you
yeah.
could have a granola bar, a Lara bar, or something that has even higher protein too, if it's satiating, and you get
You can eat
yeah, you
anything.
can eat
Yeah.
and play with that.
Hmm.
Find what
Yeah.
works for you. We've seen people eating everything.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, and if it works for you, make a note of it
Yeah.
and try to stick with what works because of course you don't want something sitting uneasy. It's not going to end up being a good fit for you.
Yeah.
But practice, practice,
Yeah.
practice with it and ingrain that into your training so that
Yes.
when it
Yeah.
comes to a high output race day or high output training day, you're not so worried or
Yeah.
fixated on how you're going to feel. You go, yeah, I know how I'm going to feel. I've
Yeah.
been doing it for a year. And
Exactly.
that's, I think something that we do neglect. And I
Yeah.
know that if you do that work, you will be far better with your consistency and your
Yeah.
ability to bring that adaptation into a race where it counts.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of friends who are just really dedicated to the real food and not even the gels, right? Like I
Absolutely.
know people who, for one thing, make their own gels with, honey and chia
Sure.
seeds and different stuff like that. And that's an option, something to play around with. But I know a lot of people who just bring a sandwich with them
Yep.
and who fuel that way. We're kind of in our gel era right now where we're trying a bunch of different kinds. You're also trying not only gels, but that carb water
Yeah. Drink mixes.
drink mixes. Yeah. And that's been really good for you.
Yeah. I mean, for our listeners, I don't want to get too technical and into the weeds, but I'm going to aim for probably 90 to 120 grams of carbs per hour.
Yeah.
And I kind of nerd out on that stuff like I
Yeah.
do with
You love it.
X specs on shoes.
Yeah.
I like that, and I'm gonna play with it. I'm gonna see where that I fall with that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna see how I feel. But yeah, I'm gonna aim probably in that, let's just call it 100 for
Yeah.
easy math. But
Yeah.
some people are going up a lot higher than
Yeah.
that. And we've seen some Ironman athletes that are double that, 200
Yeah.
grams of carbs per hour. And they're having great success with that. Now, caveat being, of course, you shouldn't be doing that all the time. This
Right.
is strictly to when you are doing that athletic feat, not
But you should be
doing it. But
practicing.
you should be practicing
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
your system's used to that. And I mean, I I can speak for myself, but
Yeah.
when I do load with carbs and ingest them mid activity, I feel better.
Yeah.
100% I feel better.
Yeah.
And even over a shorter duration, I feel better. So it shouldn't just be for that, the hour plus training.
Yeah.
I think if you're going for a 10 and you want to feel really good, well, take a gel, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Put one down.
And one of the best things that I ate last year at one of the aid stations that we were at during an ultra was I was so hungry and I just grabbed a little mini bag of like ketchup chips or something.
Right. Yeah.
Um and they were amazing. I mean, arguably not real food perhaps,
Yeah.
but so good, like the saltiness and the chip and the potato. And if any of you are Courtney DeWalter fans, you know that, her big thing has been mashed potatoes in a little baggie and a Ziploc in her trail vest.
That's
Like,
wild.
I know, yeah. But anything like that,
Does she
right?
have
To just
gravy?
get your, I don't
You
know,
gotta get gravy in
gravy in
there.
her little
You gotta
flask,
put it down
that'd
somehow. Pasty
be
potatoes? No, thank you.
potatoes and just a swig of gravy. I'm gonna try that. But
Me
yeah,
too.
I think that fueling, whatever in whatever capacity works for you and with whatever food works for you is super important because the last thing you want to do is, you know, shorten your time span in the sport by being injured.
Mhm.
If you don't have fuel, if you don't have electrolytes in your system, the potential and risk for injury is that much higher. And so that's that. I
Yeah,
mean, we're here for the longevity and for the duration
I
of,
think so. And the one thing
running.
we do see is that people are underfueling.
Yeah.
Like we see it in our circles, we see it with ourselves
Yeah.
often, but don't be afraid to overfuel. If
Yeah.
it's sitting well with you, you're not overfueling.
Yeah.
Like it should, we shouldn't even have, I shouldn't even have said overfuel.
Yeah.
If you find work, play with it, find your optimized fuel intake.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to pig out on stuff, but I almost guarantee you, you're probably underfueling.
Yeah.
And that it happens. I
Yeah.
mean, but be aware, be cognizant of it, work at it, practice with it,
Yeah.
toy around.
And see how your
Awesome.
races and your runs change when you
Yeah,
are actually running fueled. I mean,
absolutely.
yesterday having one gel was a game changer for
Mhm.
me. And again, it sounds silly and because it's so little, but I usually don't. We were 18.5 kilometers yesterday. And
75.
generally I wouldn't have taken any gels
Mm,
or water.
right.
And I took one.
I carried your water
And my gels,
and your
the
gel.
my little pack camel. But yeah, which was amazing. So yeah, find yourself someone who can carry your stuff for you.
I'm more like a donkey.
But it might have made all the difference in my run yesterday because I
Absolutely.
finished that run strong and I felt amazing and I had so much energy, right? So
Yep.
I mean, eat for output, not for aesthetics. I think I'm going to probably have that tattooed somewhere on my body because that is a reminder that I need every single day. Um, Eat for output, and eat for doing the sport that you love and
Yeah.
not just focusing on aesthetics. So yeah, and we're curious about what you guys think. Like, do you eat enough while you're running? Are you under fueled?
I want to hear
You
tips. I
Yeah.
want specifics. I want to know what you guys are doing out
Yeah.
there. If you've stumbled upon
Yes.
something amazing like potatoes and gravy,
Yeah.
or if you have certain targets for your carb intake
Yeah.
and what works well with you, or on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you're fueling low carb, maybe if you're doing
Totally.
high
Yeah.
protein.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, we're learning
Yeah.
and we're trying to experiment ourselves. And I mean,
Yeah.
anything that can be beneficial, we want to incorporate. So
Yeah. And
thanks
if
for
you have also any tips for like one of the queasy stomach
yeah,
and any gels that you are loving, please let us know.
anything
because-
new, novel.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear about it.
Absolutely. So with that said, let's go fuel and eat some dinner.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.